Hello, so today we want to start with the new set of topics in mathematics called linear equation. So first, one thing about equation that we need to understand is that an equation comprises two sides. The most important thing in an equation is the equality sign, and with this equality sign we have the left hand side, which is the LHS, and we have the right hand side, which is the RHS. So on the left hand side there will be some terms there, different terms, and on the right hand side there will also be terms there. So now in an equation we usually put terms that are alike on one side of the equation, and we put terms that are also alike in another way on the other side of the equation, and that way we can find a way to solve that problem that the equation has. Now let's see an example. If we have a question that says 4x plus 3 is equals to 2x 7, for instance. If we have a question like this, and this question asks us to find x, that is to look for x is the variable, it is the variable that we are looking for, because in an equation there is always something we are looking for, and that thing we are looking for is called x, and that x is the variable. Now, like we have discussed before, this is the coefficient of that variable. This is a coefficient. This is a constant. If it does not have x attached to it, it is called a constant. This is also a constant. Now, these ones with x, on the left hand side we can see that we have two terms. On the right hand side we have two terms as well. So what we do at this point is to collect the like terms. And how do we collect like terms? Which ones are the like terms? This term, which is 4x, on the left hand side, it has the same format as the one on the right hand side. So they are both, we have two terms on the left hand side, we have two terms on the right hand side. So the term on the left hand side, this one has x attached to it, this one has s attached to it, so they are both terms, while this one, which are constants, they are also like terms. So one thing about terms crossing the equality sign is that whenever any term crosses this equality sign to come to the other term that has the same term as it, then its sign will change. For instance, this particular 2x that is here, it can be transferred to the other side of this equation so that it will come to have the same term with this 4x. So at that point in time we are collecting the like terms. At the same time, this 3 can also be taken to the other side of this equation so that only the constant term will be on the right hand side. So when we do that, we have said to have collected the, and while they are transferring, their sign will change. If it is positive while it is here, by the time it gets to the other side of the equation, it becomes negative. If this one is positive while it is here, by the time it gets to the other side of the equation, it becomes negative. Likewise, if for instance the question has a negative value here, so by the time it crosses the equality sign, it becomes positive. So these are the things we need to take note of whenever we are collecting the like terms. So what we are going to do here is to bring this one here, 4x, which is already on the left hand side, while we take this 2x and bring it to the left hand side. And while we're doing that, we are changing its sign, because its sign right at this point is positive, because if nothing is written here, it shows that the sign is positive. So when it is taken to the other side of the equation, it becomes negative. So this is going to be minus 2x. So the equality sign will be sealed because we have done our transfer. Now the next thing is this 7, which is here, is plus 7. it is still on the right hand side, so it will be written as 7. While this plus 3, which is a positive number here, by the time it is taken to the other side of the equation, becomes negative. So this is become minus 3. So this is how like terms are collected. Now the next thing we'll do here is to subtract this from this. So it becomes 4x minus 2x, and that is 2x. And 7 minus 3 is equal to 4. So at this point, this is now going to be now that we have reduced every term here to one term on the left hand side and one time on the right hand side. So how do we now take these two off so that we are only left with x, because what we are looking for is x. So to be able to do that, whenever we see a coefficient attached to the number, to the variable, then we do what is called division. To take that 2 out, we need to divide both sides by this coefficient so that the coefficient will be reduced to 1. So we say divide both sides by 2. So this is going to be 2 and this is going to be divided by 2, because whatever we do to the left hand side must be done to the right hand side. So that is when this and this will cut out, and 1, 2 here become 2. So x, because here now this is 1 here, this is 1 here, 1 over 1 is 1, 1 times x is x, and 2 over 1 is 2. So this is going to be 2. So this is now the final answer to this. So I believe this is understood. So looking at this example, this is another example where we are asked to find x. So we're asked to find x in this example. So how do we find x? So the first thing we're going to do is to do what? Collect our like terms. So what are the like terms? This term is having x, this one is having x, this is having x. So they are already on the left hand side. These two are on the left hand side. So what we just need to do is to bring this term to the left hand side. And while we're bringing it sign to the left hand side, its sign which will become positive. So now, and this one is minus 4. By the time it is taken to the other side of the equation, it becomes plus 4. So that is how we collect the like terms. So these two, this is 3x and this is plus 2x. They are still on the left hand side, so their signs won't change. So it becomes 3x plus 2x. Then while the time this minus 2 comes to the other side, comes here, it becomes plus 2x, right? So this 5 is on the left hand side, this plus 5 also is also on the right hand side, this one is also on the right hand side. So by the time this one which is on the left hand side is transferred to the right hand side, its sign becomes positive, so it becomes plus 4, right? So when we now add this together, we say 3x plus 2x, that is 5x, and 5x plus 2x, that is 7x, and this is gonna be 5 plus 5 plus 4, and that is 14, right? So at the end of the day, this is 7, and this 7, how do we take it out of this equation? What we do is to divide both sides by this 7, so it becomes 7x all over 7, then 14 all over 7. So if the 7 cuts 7, 7 cuts 14, that's 2. So what we are left, nothing is left here except x, and here we have 2 over 1, that's going to be 2. So x is equals to 2 here. So I believe this is understood. Okay, so looking at this example, we'll see that this particular equation contains brackets. You can see there is brackets on the left hand side and there is brackets on the right hand side. So the first thing we do whenever we see questions like this is to expand the brackets, because the variable we are looking for is inside the brackets. That particular x that we are looking for is inside the brackets, and for us to be able to solve this, we need to expand the bracket first. And how do we expand the brackets? We use the element attached to the bracket to open the bracket. That is, this minus 3 here will multiply x and also multiply these 2. Also here, this 4 that is attached to the bracket will multiply these 2 and will multiply minus x. So when we do that, the bracket will be expanded, and from there we will now be able to collect the like terms. So first we'll open the bracket. Minus 3 times x, that's going to be minus 3x, and minus 3 times 2, that will be minus 6, then minus 4, which is already there. Then we have 4 times 2, that will be 8, then 4 times minus x, that will be minus 4x, then plus 3. Take note that this 4 is not going to be multiplying this 3 because it is not within the brackets, it is outside the bracket, so we're not going to use this 4 to multiply it. Take note of that. Now the next thing we want to do from here is to collect the like terms, because at this point we have everything exposed, as in the terms that are alike. We can easily collect them and bring them together. The constant terms can also be brought together on the other side of the equation. So this is going to be minus 3x plus 4x, right? So that is, this minus 4x is brought to the other side of the equation, and while it is being brought, the minus sign becomes positive, plus 4x. So, and this is 3 here, so 8 plus 3. Then this minus 6 and minus 4, they are also here, so they are going to be brought to the other side. Their signs are negative, so minus 6 when brought to the other side becomes plus 6. Minus 4 when brought to the other side becomes what? Plus 4. So at this point, we will now add this together. Minus 3x plus 4x, that is x, right? And here, when we add everything together here, 8 plus 3, 11, plus 6, 17, 17 plus 4, 21. So it becomes 21, right? So this is the final answer of x. So this is one equation. And one thing about equation, if a way to check if the equation is actually correct is to substitute back this value into this equation, and we are going to find out that the left hand side is exactly the same as the right hand side. If, for instance, we take the left hand side, we now plug x, this x, we put it into this equation. If we say this is 21 now, 21 plus 2, that will be 23, right? That will be 23. That 23 now multiply by minus 3. 23, when it is multiplied by minus 3, that's what's minus. So minus 64 times 19, that will be, so the left hand side, let's just read here, the left hand side of this equation is going to be minus 3 into x plus 2, right, minus 4. So we want to solve this left hand side. This is minus 3 into 21 plus 2 minus 4. If you look at this very well, if this multiplies this, that's 23 times 3, we get 69, and this minus 4, we get 73, minus 73, and that's plus minus 73. Now if we do the same thing on the right hand side, you are going to have 4 by 2 minus x, right, plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So this is going to be 4 into 2 minus 21 plus 3. We are still going to get the same 2, that's minus 19, multiplied by 4 plus 3. So you're going to get minus 73. So we will see that the left hand side and the right hand side produce the same answer. So that tells us that this particular answer that we have produced is correct, that we have gotten is correct. So this is how we solve equation, and we'll leave it here today, and tomorrow we'll continue. Thank you.